All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes. We know what's happening in the league. All sports, all plays, ASAP. Cause we know what's going down with your team. We'll bring you up to speed ASAP. Not talking about Rihanna's baby daddy, it's the network covering every play that's happening in the ring, on the field, on the courts, on the lane. We gon' cover the game, all sports, all play. All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes.
What is going on? It's your boy, your favorite host, Jay and Josh. Season 3, episode 8. We got a doozy for you today. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing pretty good. We've been hustling these past couple of weeks, bro.
Man, who you telling? I'll be sleep. I've been trying to be asleep.
For real. I know. I was just over at Old School Boxing getting some footage for Ben because we're working on some stuff with him. And then you were actually just over at Fine Ash doing a little promo video with a certain comedian.
Yep. The Meaty Stallion, my boy. Mm-hmm. He's going to be making an appearance PFA 8, April 20th, which sneaking up on us, guys. You know, you're planning on getting tickets. Get some tickets now before they sold out. Mm-hmm. If you need that pay-per-view, get your popcorn ready because it's definitely going to be a show, man.
It's going to be a buster.
Right? And then we were just in Tucson this past weekend with Rise, watching some fights down there. There were some great fights. Man, Samson.
That dude's a monster. That punch that he landed is just that wild overhand left, and oh my gosh, his opponent just collapsed.
The fucking punch he took. I swear that was a flash knockout. I swear it was a flash knockout.
I'm surprised, bro. I'm surprised he survived it because like that shot, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's how it was. Oh shit. He's back up. Oh shit. Like it was just like that. I swear the cage woke him back up. It was a flash knockout. And he has power. And when he touches you, it's like a light switch. The lights are gone. Those are out. Put done. Z's. Like,
for real, bro.
However you want to say it. Man, but tonight, man, we got a good one tonight too, man.
Yeah, we most certainly do. And hey, let me tell you something. This guy is here to make a statement, a prodigy on a killing spree. Watch his feet because he'll feed you with a kick that'll break your teeth. Call him Orpheus because he's not here to skip a beat. Undergoing a metamorphosis, he'll find a way to put you to sleep. The veil is drawn and the lights are on. The fans uproar because he's the chosen one. A legacy is paved, best not step in his way, else he'll put you in a state of decay. Oh shit, his opponent quit. He couldn't roll with the punches, so he left real quick. He threw a fit, screaming, I'm out this bitch. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a future champion. He's the one and only Austin Clayton. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, man? And will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Come on, man. That was pretty fire. Okay.
I told you we had a special intro for it. We gotta do you right.
that was fire, bro.
How you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. Just back to training. Preparing for the next one.
Nice.
Yeah. We were talking before we got on. For the ones that didn't get to see the fight, it seems like you're a perfectionist. You want to do things exactly kind of how you kind of map it out in there. Is that something you carry into your training, into your camps?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I really feel like the reason why I become such a perfectionist is because I truly give my all into this sport and my craft. I give it, there's no stone unturned. So whenever I go out there, I expect nothing less but my absolute best performance. And, you know, the reason why I may come off as if I'm a perfectionist is because I just know that the best Austin Clayton didn't step in the cage on that day, but a good enough version did, and I got the job done. And yeah, I've carried that into my training. My dad has instilled in me since a little kid. He's like, look, somebody can do something to you once, but after one time, man, you can't let it happen again. You know what I mean? You got to be able to correct your mistakes. And he stands by, it's a military saying, but adapt, overcome, and improvise. And, you know, I like to think that's what I did on March 9th. You know, he hit me with a shot that I never saw coming. I never expected. Not once in my visualizations or any of the dreams that I had leading up to the fight did I see it going like that. But, you know, I adapted, I overcame, and I improvised, and, you know, I made it happen. So.
And I think you hit the nail in the coffin right there too, because it's just like what Mike Tyson says. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched. Now, what you're going to do after that speaks volumes. And that's why I really like how, while you're critical of your performance, dude, you did a phenomenal performance at the same time, because you showed what you're capable of after something like that happens, and then you showed your wrestling as well. So it was a great performance, and I'm especially excited because I think that was your 6th official first round finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so crazy, but like one of my worst performances, and I feel like I got the most respect out of all my fights for this one. I think it just, you know, showed everybody that I am a real fighter. You know, I come from a good background, a great family. I don't have to fight. I choose to fight. I love to fight. This is my dream. This is my dad's dream. And I'm trying to accomplish our dream together of becoming a world champion. But fighting would be the last thing I would do if I was looking to make a lot of money, or I don't have really the desire to be like insanely famous. Like a lot of people do it for the clout. You know, I fight because I want to be the best in the world, right? And it's just like a lot of people, I don't know if they didn't look at me as a real fighter because I choose to fight. I mean, you see a lot of people nowadays, they fight just to post a picture on Instagram. You know what I mean? MMA is becoming cool. It's becoming mainstream now. So now everybody wants to be a fighter. Everybody wants to train combat sports, which is great from a business standpoint. But for the MMA purists, it can be annoying because they're like, this guy. Now this guy wants to fight. Now this guy wants to fight. I think I proved on March 9th that, you know, I'm a real fighter and I'm here to stay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, we were talking too, like you were saying, you know, that it's different training and sparring and going through those reps, and you need those reps. You got to get those reps in, but it's a totally different thing than having that in-ring experience. And you were kind of alluding to how you kind of try to force it, in a sense, getting those deeper rounds or getting a little bit more out of your opponents. Does that at all stay on your mind while you're training or going into fights, or is that something you think about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm lucky enough to, you know, from the very beginning of my career, I've had the opportunity to train with the absolute best in the world when it comes to MMA. I've trained with Paulo Costa. I've trained with John Jones, Henry Cejudo, Gilbert Burns. The list goes on. Yuri Prochazka, champion after champion. And I've got to see them train. I've got to train alongside them. I got to train with them. I know how good I am. I know how good I am. I've trained with the best, and I can compete with the best. But it is different when you step in that cage. You know, the gloves are smaller. The punches are more wild. You know, it's just everything's a little bit more surreal. And I've been trying to get someone to fight me. It's hard to get a fight. It's hard to find a fight in the first place. But even when you step into the cage, they fold so quickly. Even this guy, he got a great punch. He had everything was going in his way, and he still folded so quickly. As soon as things went in the wrong direction, he didn't want no more. He was trying to get out of there as soon as possible. So I've been talking to some of my teammates since I've gotten back, and they just reminded me that, you know, it's going to take the right opponent to bring the best out of me, and I can't forget that. So from here on out, I'm not coming in with I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm going to go in and dominate every fight, and you know, the right opponent will bring the most out of me. So, you know, if I get a worthy opponent, maybe one day we'll see me go 3 rounds. You know what I mean? We'll see me get into some striking exchanges, some grappling exchanges. But I'm just going to continue to dominate and take the path of least resistance until then.
Yeah, definitely. And that makes me think of something particular too, because I read all the time. And something that I've always stuck with me that I think is especially unique in combat sports is achievement motivation. And basically that just means that there are people that have a certain level of achievement motivation to do bigger, greater things than others. And that is a requirement of you have to how does it go? I'm having brain fart right now. My apologies. You have to be willing to sacrifice, put in that risk for the greater reward. So I think that's a really cool feature that I think you show prominence in, especially too when we interviewed you back at RUF, and kind of tying in back. You first started this journey and building your legacy back when you were a kid and used to watch fighting with your dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
tell me about that.
My sacrifice, I've sacrificed everything, right? And I don't look at it as a sacrifice because this is what I love to do. There's nothing on the planet I'd rather be doing than what I do. But to a lot of people, I've sacrificed everything. I never was the type to go out and party. I never was the type to go out and smoke and drink. Because to me, one day when I was 13 years old, I remember watching 24/7. If you guys remember HBO, they used to have 24/7 or Showtime. Oh, yeah. Floyd Mayweather was on there, and this was like a really pivotal time in my life. Like growing up, I used to tell my parents the most wild things. I was like, bro, I'm gonna have kids at 16. I'm gonna be smoking, drinking. I don't know why. That's what I said I was gonna be doing. 13 years old though, I watched this 24/7 of Floyd Mayweather. And man, that was my inspiration. And he said he never smoked or drank. And from that day on, man, I was like, you know what? I want to be the best like this guy. This guy's the best. He's the absolute best in the sport. Nobody can compete with this guy. I'm going to do what he does. Whatever he's doing is working. And, I never smoked, never drank. I'm willing to sacrifice anything to get to my goals. And because to me, there's a greater good at the end, right? A lot of people, I'm doing what a lot of people wish they could do. They're just not willing to do what you said exactly, the sacrifices, right? I'm missing out on making a whole lot of money right now. I could be working with my dad. I could be building up his business with him, alongside him. But instead, I'm sacrificing all that money, all that instant gratification of feeling like a man and making all this money to go chase our dreams. Because guess what? My dad's 48 years old. He can't go chase his dream no more. When I get 35, I'll be lucky if I'm still fighting. You know what I mean? Only the best are still fighting at that point in time. So what I'm chasing is, I like to call it dreams worth more than money. And dreams money can't buy. So these sacrifices it may be sacrifices to some, but to me, it's not a sacrifice, man. This is exactly where I want to be, what I want to do. And there's, as I said earlier, there's no stone unturned, and I'll have no regrets at the end of this game. Whatever I achieve is going to be the absolute best version of Austin Clayton. There will never be a shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It's like you're putting those building blocks together, and that's kind of paving your path or laying your path. When did you start putting these blocks together? Like when did you start training?
I started wrestling when I was about 13 years old. I was possibly the worst wrestler of all time. I don't think I won a match for 2 years. It was so bad. Freshman year of high school, I went to a school that we didn't have a good wrestling team, but I did make the varsity team. I maybe won 10 matches, maybe. And we went against other horrible schools as well. So it wasn't like those were 10 great wins. Didn't make the state tournament, but I just improved every single year. And me and my dad are very similar in the sense of like, I loved wrestling. At one point in time, wrestling was my everything. Now it's MMA. But really what I realized is I just want to be the best in anything that I do. So in the next life, I'm going to want to be the best. If I'm working on a business, I'm going to want to be the best at whatever industry I'm in. I'm obsessed with being the best and maximizing my potential. And so, that started when I was 13 years old. And, I won a state title my senior year of high school, which was a really big deal to me because anybody who saw me starting wrestling would never thought I would have won a state title. And then I go win a state title and I went off to Arizona State. A lot of people never saw that coming. I didn't have the career that I wanted to at Arizona State. I did good things, but up to my standards. I never achieved what I wanted, but it left a great chip on my shoulder. And, it's like the Michael Jordan saying, I didn't lose, I just ran out of time. College, we got 4 years. MMA, the time's still ticking backwards, but I still got another 10 years in me.
How old are you right now?
25.
25. Okay. Oh, yeah. So you still got plenty of time, and you're on a great trajectory right now, bro.
And it's just, like I said, just getting that experience. I train with the best. I get to see what the best do. So now it's just, staying the course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'll go ahead.
I was gonna ask, when did you transition from full time wrestling into MMA, especially being at ASU and competing in that collegiate circuit and things like when did that kind of click for you as well?
I started training 2 years ago, MMA. So when I went to ASU, the reason why I wanted to go to Arizona State is because it was a complete contrast in how I was as an athlete. In wrestling, I was a very unorthodox, funky, creative wrestler. Go into Arizona State, it's super finesse, technical, very highly skilled people. And I actually had the opportunity to train behind Zahid Valencia, who's one of the greatest college wrestlers of all time. He was a 3-time national champ and just a stud, man, in all aspects. You know what I mean? That dude just knows how to win. He's just a winner. And so that's why I ended up going there, because I wanted to train behind one of the best in the sport. And I did that, and I learned a lot from him. And I still use a lot of the things that I learned from him today in my craft now. I started training 2 years ago, and a lot of people haven't done what I've done in 2 years, just to have 4 amateur fights, 2 professional fights. And if it was up to me, I would have had a lot more, but it's hard I can't believe it, because wrestling, we compete every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But in MMA, we're fighting once every 3 months. And, so far the biggest battle has just been making the weight, because a lot of these guys don't want to fight. They say they want to fight, but like we were talking about earlier, it's a very it's like a social thing now. People want to be fighters just to post on Instagram and to say oh, I do this, I do that, but they don't really want to fight. They don't really want to get out there. I'm down to fight anybody. Put me on the right platform, I'll fight anybody, because I know how good I am, and I know where I'm going to be. But like I said, I just need to be on the right platform, and I'll put on a show for anybody.
And I think right now actually is such a great time to touch exactly what you spoke on with that, because like you said, it's now becoming mainstream, and you're seeing all these people that say they want to fight, but they're not willing to put in that full commitment, that full work. Because like you said, by the time you turn 13, you saw that Floyd Mayweather HBO film with 24/7. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. So the fact that you put yourself on that path already presents obstacles that other people typically don't follow. So right now, especially, I think it's a great time, because now with so much exposure, you're really seeing the reality of what it takes, the work you put in. And especially if you've only been training, you started 2 years ago, and you've already made this much progress, bro, I understand why people are pulling out, why you can't get a fight. I mean, the only decision win you have was your debut. Everything else is first round finishes.
Well, what they don't understand is it's only going to get worse, because I'm really green. Like, honestly, I'm green in the sport. I have so much to learn. Like, I just continue to say it, but I just need more experience. So the time is now. You know what I mean? If you want to fight me now, because it's only going to get worse. I'm only going to get better.
Wait.
Yeah.
No, but it goes back to like kind of what you were saying too. It's not just the fad, as it is the separation and power too, man. You can play, you can fiddle around until you get hit by someone that's carrying a hammer behind their wrist.
Yeah.
And it changes the game. And I think too, I mean, just off the last fight, I think he had a more technical punch landed on you.
Yeah.
I think your punch just carried a mountain behind it. And it really, when those cobwebs get knocked off, it really changes who you are, and how you're going to react to that. I mean, that I think has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think that a lot of people deal with fear of failure. They're scared to fall short. They're scared to put themselves out there and fall short. But I mean, I've lost so many times throughout my wrestling career, just in life in general. You know what I mean? I've always set lofty goals, and I've fell short so many times. I'm not scared to fail, and I think that's what separates me from the rest. Also, is like, I'm going to put myself in those positions. I'm going to take the risks. And, I may fall short sometimes. For example, I fell short up to the expectation that was expected of me this last fight. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody thought. I had so many people DMing me saying, oh, this is a walk in the park, blah, blah, blah. They don't understand it's a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We still got to get in there and fight. And I'm not scared to fail. And I just think that it's what separates me from the rest, because I'm going to go out there. I'm going to take the risk. That's what Dana White likes to see. You know what I mean? Who's going to take the fight on short notice? Who's going to fight that dude that nobody wants to fight? You know what I mean? That's how you move up the rankings. That's how you go get the title fights. That's how you make a lot of money, is taking the risks. And a lot of people, man, you can see them in the gym, and they're so good in the gym, but they never live up to who they really are when it comes to fight time. And that just goes back to fear of failure. They're scared to fall short. I'm not. I've failed and lost so many times. It's nothing to me. I'm here to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that especially speaks to it as well, because, you know, like what we see oftentimes, people or fighters, they'll get scared to lose the O because the undefeated status and everything comes with it. It creates that fear of failure. So they always end up like taking the easiest path of resistance. They're not going for the biggest challenges. So I definitely implore and applaud you on that. Maintain that mentality, because especially too, if you dare to be great, if you dare to be the best, you have to beat the best. And especially too, since you've trained with so many legends already, so many UFC champions, how do you compare kind of like your style of fight and compare with these other guys that you've gotten to train with?
Oh man, I mean, they're all so different. They're all great in their own ways. And I don't think I'm like any of them, honestly. I think I'm my own style. I think I'm the next Austin Clayton. But you know, I try to pull a little bit from each and every one of them. John Jones is one of the most creative fighters I've ever seen in my life. Like, half the stuff that he showed me, it just don't even make sense. And maybe that's because he has a 80-something inch reach. Maybe that's because he's 6'4" and fought at 185. I don't know, but I love his creativity, his mind. Henry is a technician. Everything he does is so technical. Yuri Prohashka is, I swear to God, a modern day like gladiator. Like, again, it goes back to everything that he does isn't by the book, but he's just a fighter, man. Like, I remember I was helping him train for his fight versus Glover, and I mean, I don't know what I can say and what I can't say, but I felt like Glover had the edge when it came to the wrestling. I'll just leave it at that. I felt Glover had the edge when it came to the wrestling. But that dude is a gamer, man. That dude is a fighter, and he's just a different beast when it comes to when it's time to fight. You know what I mean? Same with Kelvin Gastelum. You know, you train with Kelvin Gastelum, and when you see that guy fight, man, his best version shows up on fight night. You know you're gonna be in a fight when you got to fight Kelvin Gastelum on fight night. So I don't think I'm really like any of those guys, except in the aspect of, you know, we all got that championship heart and the mentality that it takes to become a champion. But when it comes to skill sets, I think I'm gonna, you know, be my own person.
I love that answer.
And then, you know, you hit the nail on the coffin too. I think that is a huge trait that a lot of people overlook, is that championship trait. Because in fighting, it's a totally different thing. It's something that you got to be able to dig into, pull something out of when there ain't nothing left.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. When your legs are telling you lay down or sit down, and you still got a minute and a half left in the fight, and you're up against the cage, like, you know what I mean. Those type of instances, and everybody you named right now, they definitely have.
They've had those moments, yeah. Jones and Gustafson,
Kevin,
Izzy.
Yeah, Kelvin, I mean, everybody. Does that rub off on you? Does that put an edge on your shoulder walking down that aisle?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I know I have everything that it takes to get to that point. Actually, in wrestling, I beat a lot of guys that were a lot better than me. But when it came down to the grit, and when it came down to, you know, we're both tired, who's willing to go that extra mile? That was always me. So I beat a lot of guys that if we were in the practice room and we just did best of 3 takedowns, I'd probably lose 3-0 on takedowns. But when we got into the deep waters, I was down to go swimming. They weren't. They wanted some air. You know what I mean? I definitely got what it takes. And I'm proud of that. I really feel like fighting is in my lineage. Like, I feel like I know my dad was a fighter, his mom was a fighter, but I feel like it goes deep down into my roots of my family, because there's just something inside of me. Like I said, I come from a good family. I live in the suburbs, man. I ain't deal with no trauma. I good family, but I got that fight in me, man, and I just want to show the world that that I got what it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially nowadays too. Like, we see so many people, they work the 9 to 5, or they're never able to truly chase their dream, and you see that type of regret that builds in them. So it's definitely better now, while you have your youth and everything, to go for your dreams, chase as far as you can. And especially, like you were saying, this is something that you want, and how bad you want it determines who comes out of the deep waters. And that's why, especially, like, I like with your case, tie it back with, like, lineage, for example. Beowulf, during old Britain history, they didn't believe there's an afterlife. The only way you live on after death is if you remembered for the greatness, for the accolades, the achievements you made. And that's why your energy, especially that pre-fight interview we did, it gives me that. Like, you're looking to build a legacy, something that's going to be passed down through generations. And so with that being said too, for your legacy, if you look back 50 years from now, what kind of legacy do you want to have told?
World champion, man. Nothing less. When it comes down to the resume, I want to get that gold belt. I actually have the gold belt, and I see it every single day. I'll go get it for you real quick.
Hey, let's do it. Hey. I see we got UFC in the background too.
Yeah, we always studying. My dad got this for me, right? For Christmas. Because he's seen everything that I put into this. And when I tell you I commit my whole life to this sport, I've committed my whole life to this sport. And he's seen, so he got me that to see it every day, because that feels good, and it's so cool to look at, but I want the real one. I want I want Dana White or Joe Rogan to put that thing around my waist, and I want to be able to look at my dad and my mom and my family and let them know that everything that they did, everything that they sacrificed, everything that they put into me, it was worth it, and we accomplished it. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of variables that go into that, and I just want to be the best Austin Clayton that I could be. Like I said, when my fighting career is over, whether I'm a world champion, made the UFC, no matter what it is, I just want to know that I maximized what I could have been. You know what I mean? There's a lot of variables. You could get injured, certain fights, timing. There's a lot of different things, but when my career is done, I want to know that, I gave it my all, and that's all I could do, so that I can move on to the next thing. Because I think you see a lot of athletes, they get stuck in the time of, like, they can't let go. And I think that has to do with the fact that they didn't give it their all. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's still something left that they feel like, and it might be too late. Like, they're getting older, they're hurt, they're this or that. While Austin Clayton's in the sport of MMA, I'm going to give my absolute best every single day until the day it's done. And then when it's done, it's done. And that's left in the past, and I'm moving on to the next thing. So,
yeah, it's like how the saying goes, the worst kind of hell is seeing what you could have been and what you could have accomplished.
I always think about, man, like, one day, God willing, I make it to heaven, and I go up and talk to God, right? And he says, Austin, you were meant to be this, this, and this. Why? Like, what happened? I don't want to have that conversation. I want to go up to God, and I want him to be like, man, you did everything I had set out for you. That's the conversation I'm trying to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Preach, brother.
That's a good perspective to look at it, though. Older athletes that kind of are holding on, feeling like they got something left, like they just didn't empty the gas tank when they had the opportunity to, and they don't want to leave without doing that. That's a good perspective to look at it. Got a comment here. I can't wait to see you in the UFC.
My dog. Only a matter of time.
Yes, sir. So post weigh-ins, after dropping weight, starving yourself. Now that they said, Austin, you hit weight, you're good to go. What's your go-to meal?
Oh man, it's got to be chicken parm. That's always what it is. I don't know if you guys know this spot. It's called North Italia. They got the most fire chicken parm. It's like mac and cheese with chicken parm. It's crazy. And I don't know, man. It fills me up, gets me all the carbs I need, tastes good, and it's always a good time. Oh man, eating after. There's so many different things I'll be trying to eat. You know what I mean? I had to control myself. Like, a lot of it, I'm like, all right, you got to earn some of this. Like, you can't just eat whatever.
Bro, so I think it was 2 years ago, no, back in 2022. I purposely did a weight cut just to understand like more of like just the brutality of it. And dude, just like that, as soon as I finished it, I went ham. I went ham
yeah.
on some double step Oreos. I got myself a personal pizza. Like
Yeah.
that shit was bad.
Yeah, dude. And this was actually a really hard wake up for me because there was a lot of complications. So like I tore my MCL back in, I want to say like September or August. I had to take some time off. And then when I came back, I ended up, so I had like, I want to say probably about like 7 weeks whenever I first came back until my fight. And in that time I had, I re-injured my knee, I got sick, and I had staph all in that time. So you can imagine that probably took away 3 weeks out of my training. So really I only had 4 weeks to train. I'm a big 170er. Like I walk around 200, 205 pounds. And that's eating clean. I eat clean year round. I'm very disciplined with my nutrition. So if I went off the chains and just ate whatever, I couldn't imagine what I would be like. I'll probably be 220. You know what I mean? But it made the weight cut really hard. So I think that might be part of the reason why I got chinned as well was, man, there was like 2.2 pounds that just would not come off. And like, it was just so hard. I came in 12 pounds over. That was a little bit heavier than I wanted to be. And those last 2 pounds were a lot of me. And then when I started eating, bro, it was crazy. So I've never, ever experienced bloating, right? I've cut weight my whole life, wrestling, all this stuff. I had the worst bloating after I ate that chicken parm. And I was like trying to massage my stomach and stuff like it was crazy. It was a bad experience. But yeah, definitely one of the worst weight cuts in up to date so far.
Well, so in less than 8 months, my bad. So in less than 8 months, you recovered from an MCL injury, re-aggravated it.
Yeah. That was 2 weeks before, too. I was sparring with Gilbert Burns, getting ready for Jack Della Maddalena, and he threw a leg kick while at the same time when I was throwing a punch. So I was like full weight onto my leg. And, so I had to cut sparring out 2 weeks early, which is okay because I typically do about like a week and a half or a week out just to, make sure I'm all good and healthy to go into the fight. But just ending it on that note sucked, dude. Like it had me a little bit nervous. And then I was just curious, like, man, all right, how's my leg going to handle taking the first kick? You know what I mean? In the fight. And that's why I was trying to close that distance right away. I wanted to get into the boxing range so it takes away the kicks. I just wasn't sure how it would go. So
honestly, that makes me even more impressed because oftentimes when you see fighters have so many struggles, especially something like that happen in the lead up, it puts them in a position where they're not able to overcome and get the W still. So the fact that you still had those complications, persevered and got the W, that only makes me more impressed.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to fighters fight. You know what I mean? Just got to find a way. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You're always going to be dinged up. There's always going to be something wrong. So you just got to pick your battles and go in there and fight.
Definitely.
Talking about, Josh, you want to ask your question?
Yeah, so I'm going to play it in 2 parts. So the first question that I typically ask is, if you can have anybody in your corner for one fight or part of your corner, they could be dead or alive. They could be outside of UFC, MMA. They can be in boxing, outside of sports, period. Who would you be? Who would you pick?
Man, that's a really good question. I would probably say my pap on my dad's side. He passed away a couple years ago, and he never got to actually watch me fight. But I always told him I was going to fight. Like whenever I was wrestling, he used to always ask me, he'd probably be disappointed this last fight because he would always be like, "Hey, you got a chin? Like if you don't have a chin, you can't fight." He would always talk about Amir Khan. Like, look how good Amir Khan is. He was like, but he don't got no chin, so he can't be champion. And but I would love to have him in my corner just because, man, he was the biggest fight fan. He's watched since Muhammad Ali. Like he was watching that real time. You know what I mean? So that would be a great experience to, have my papa be in my corner and be able to watch and, see my dad and me do what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that answer. And then to follow up with that, tying with your dad. So to foreshadow, because I know you like the timestamp. So to mark this, when you get that UFC belt wrapped around your waist and you got your dad behind you, one sentence or one thing you want to say in that moment, what would it be?
We did it, Dad. That's gonna be the best feeling in the world, man. I don't know how I'm gonna hold myself together because, man, me and my family have the best relationship, and all I want to do is just make them proud. You know what I mean? I just want to again show them that all their sacrifice and hard work. I came in up with a good life. My parents didn't. You know, they had to work and scrap for everything that they got, and I'm lucky enough to be able to have the opportunity to see them, you know, go work and scrap for that because it still gave me that blue collar work ethic. And yeah, it would just 100% be we did it because we did it together. I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great answer.
I like that too. Man, I'm hoping you come back to Arizona to fight soon again.
There's talks in June, possibly June. If we can get an opponent, I might be back on RUF in June.
Ooh, we gonna have to make that happen. We gotta make that happen.
Definitely, man, because we and hopefully the next opponent gives us longer than a minute and a half.
Yeah.
You know, this one. I mean, granted, he gave us 2 minutes and some highlight, but I mean, you know, 5 will be 5 straight first round knockouts. You know, the only one that didn't go longer than went outside the first round is your debut. I mean, you're on a roll, man, and these are the roles that end up rolling their way into UFC.
Oh, I'm gonna make the UFC. I guarantee everything on my life about that. It's not a matter of if I make the UFC. It's just when I make it, and then from there, that's when it really starts. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I can't wait, and I can't wait to show the rest of my skills. Like I said, a worthy opponent will bring it out of me, but I'm more than just a takedown and ground and pound type of guy. I got a lot of submissions up my sleeve. You know, I can strike, I can box. Really, I can box. I got good hands, and you know, I can't wait. One day we'll get an opponent to bring that out of me. So.
Yeah, we'd be excited, especially if it's gonna be here in Arizona. You know, we're gonna be covering that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, before we let you go, man, anything you want to say before you get out of here?
Man, I just want to give all glory to God, and I just want to thank you guys for having me on. This is a great show, and you guys have done a great job, and I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate you, man. It's a genuine privilege. The fact that we get to be a part of your story, provide you a platform, and just get to know you and talk with you. It's a genuine privilege.
Thank you, man. Likewise.
Well, hopefully we see you in June, bro. Hopefully we see you in June.
Soon.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Talk to you here soon.
Have a good one, guys.
You too. Peace, brother.
Oh,
man, I gotta say that's one of my favorite ones this year so far, guaranteed.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Great dude. Like I was saying, he's on the roll. These are the roles that lead into UFC. One or two more first round knockouts, and they ain't got no more fights left to give him. He has to go because ain't nobody gonna want to sign up.
Yeah, they're gonna have to fight once he gets signed on. And bro, like, so the one thing I definitely have to say that I really respect and like about Austin is that what we clicked on is legacy, because that's the greatest thing about this sport, and he's so determined on that. So it's gonna be dope as hell to see him make it into the UFC and his progress, because we started following him when he made his debut, when he was fighting for Fusion Fight League, because we got some of our boys like Richie that covers that promotion. So this is literally legacy in the making.
Right. And you know, he's focused on the path and the end result. He's focused on it. And you know, look at his record. Look at the combined time in ring. Just his thought process on things and where his focus is and where it's going. I mean, it's a matter of time. Like you said, he knows he's going. It's just a matter of when. And you can definitely feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it'll be dope. June, it'll be dope. Come on, RUF. Let's do this one.
We gotta make that happen. And bro, I'm so excited that I finished that Grand Prix tournament series because now I'm gonna start working on that rough highlight reel. And I ain't gonna spoil anything, but I know you and I were talking about the ideas I had. So it'll be dope. He comes back out, we get some more footage, and then if we could get a post-fight interview too, that'd be dope.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know we were talking a little bit earlier about what we were doing prior to the show. If you don't know, we are working on a docu-series. Right now, we're doing our boy Ben. He fights April 27th at Iron Boy. Be making his pro debut. Um, his episode, hopefully, I say look for it around June-ish.
Mm-hmm.
June-ish. That episode will be done and ready to go. But I'm really excited about that. I'm also excited about finding who our second episode is going to be on that series.
That'll be that. See, this is the dope part about this is the fact that there's just so much potential. Like it's literally fucking boundless, bro. Because the fact that we're starting this now with Ben Tai with his pro debut and getting to be a part of his story. For the second one, man, whoo, that's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be excited for that one because there's so many hot prospects, especially in Arizona too.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to everybody that has tuned in. Mike, we see you. Gonzo, the Wizard, everybody on Instagram. Shout out to you guys for tuning in and watching the show. RUF MMA. Yes, like CJ and them tuned in. Big ups to Head Kick Audio, Steven over there. Everybody else that tuned in to watch as well and is still watching. If you haven't already, please click that like button, share it out one time, let everybody know we do this every Tuesday. We don't have anybody scheduled next week. But yeah, that's why I actually brought up the docu-series. We will be having Benjamin on April 23rd.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. The week leading up to his fight, we'll do an official sit down, just like with Joshua over at Siege. We're gonna do the same thing with Ben because he's over at Siege MMA. So we're gonna have a great sit down talk with him with this fight leading up, and bro, it's gonna be dope because seeing the work that he's putting in on the 27th, dude, it's gonna be a wrap.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Like you said, just seeing the work that he's put in. I mean, we could really say we've seen the work. We've been there. Obviously not as much as him because he lives at the gym right now. But we've been there. We've been there. We've seen a lot of it. We've seen a lot of it. We've talked to the guys around him. They've said some great things about Ben. What he provides for them in the coaching aspect, and also them, looking at him from a fighter's aspect as well, and being able to pick up things from him there. And it's a great dude. Learned a lot. Gotten really close to the whole Siege camp over there as of late. So really dope, man.
We're building something special, man. There's no denying that at this point. And the great part is that it involves the people that's at the roots, the people that support us, that support these promotions, these fighters. Like it's not just this haha hoorah shit that's so disconnected from reality. We're more grounded than ever because we're so close to these fighters, to their families, their friends, and to their followers that what we're building is not something you could come across, and it's not something you could just replicate.
I know this is the MMA show, but I can't help. What the fuck is wrong with my sons? I don't know what the hell these motherfuckers are doing. Like, I don't know how they came out and scored 10 points in the first quarter. This is just bullshit. And then now here we are We're trying to come back in the second half. I get it, but I swear Kevin Durant needs to be put in a rear naked choke right now.
Are we gonna have a basketball MMA crossover? I know Habib has his own league with
Wait.
that, the wrestling basketball.
Devin Booker is 1 for 11. Holy moly, donut shop. How you shooting for plastic? I don't understand it.
Well, let's hope let's hope the Suns can have a comeback after that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The docuseries is gonna go hard, man, for sure. Liddy in the city with Kevin. Steven, appreciate you, bro. I'm excited as well. You don't understand. There's a lot of stuff going on. And shoot, speaking of which, like we were talking about, rise of the prospects. I thank y'all for having us. That was a dope show. You guys killed it down in Tucson from start to finish. I got to see my boy Antonio fight again.
We saw Danny Martinez fight again.
Saw Danny Martinez fight again. Man, it was a great show. It was a great show.
It was. We saw a lot of great fights, especially a lot of new faces. We also saw Rebecca Chavez from Siege also fight on that card too.
Can we talk about that fight for a second?
Bro, that was a fight of the night contender. Like, I remember you saying you had that as the fight of the night because that was just straight up action from the very freaking beginning. And Rebecca had so many close calls with landing that fucking armbar against her opponent.
Dude, from the armbar, she had multiple armbar attempts. There was one where I thought if she didn't fucking tab, her fucking shoulder's about to pop out of motherfucking socket or something. Cause she had that mug sunk in. And then she rotated out of it. First of all, Gabby, relentless. That girl is flipping relentless. Like, and then Becca, her stand-up striking was ridiculous. And she was trying to, because of how relentless freaking Gabby was, if she got a slither of space, she was throwing everything.
Yep.
She was throwing everything.
Yeah, and damn, she was dog tired, and Rebecca just jumped on that. You could tell, like I think you pointed out between the second to third round in between, like Gabby was just ready to just kind of buckle because she was so tired.
Yeah, she was about to collapse. Like her knees were buckling, her legs were like kind of giving out, and dude, oh my god, that was a hell of a fucking fight. Hell of a fight. And then saw Kendrick Davison in the crowd. I'm excited about his upcoming match at PFA 8. He's on a roll right now. It's another dude. Light switches at the end of his fist, man. Light switches at the end of his fist.
He gonna send you to Valhalla.
He's throwing mountains at you. You want to go to Superstition or the White Tank? So which one do you want? But no, that's another dude I'm excited to see on the 20th. What is he? 2 back? He's 2 right now, no, right?
Yeah. So he made his debut against Kevin Prasadio with the unanimous win, and then same thing against Chris Stinchcombe, where he took the fight. Honestly, he took the fight less than 12 hours before weigh-ins, and he came in and got that W.
Look, man, you take a fight in 24-hour notice and put the dude in bed with a pillow. In just your second fight, you got some promise ahead of you. I mean, he tucked him in, gave him a sleep number, adjusted it halfway through. Was like, no, you need a 3.5. 3 ain't working. Get it a little bit softer for you. Hold on, get that up for you. Gave him a Tempur-Pedic pillow. He had a memory foam on that mug and everything.
Shit, you sang him a lullaby.
24 hours, bro.
He's probably, hush, little baby, don't you cry. I just broke your fucking eye.
No, it was he definitely was singing some lullabies, but it was. Ooh, I'm really excited for that one. Isaac McCary against David.
Yeah, David Fisher. Oh, I'm so happy you brought that up. Dude, that story arc is dope as fuck. I'm loving the story arc between the Syndicate and Paradox fighters and how it's unfolding in PFA. Great, bro. Great.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, there's a lot. Syndicate, Paradox. There's a few gyms right now. Siege. Um, that are
Ethos.
doing, yeah, that are just doing some work in PFA right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a few guys we're gonna see coming around that corner for some title shots as well. Caesar, is that another guy that's gonna try to go double champ status? Is he gonna try to challenge Isaac here for his title soon? Um,
Actually, Caesar may be going for a 3 division champ if he pursues that route. So check it. This is the cool thing about the story between Isaac and Caesar. So Caesar is the super lightweight champion, right? He won against Chandler Klein back at PFA 6. Well, for PFA 8, he's going down 2 weight classes. So he's skipping Isaacs to go down another one to fight Edwin Cassius. Now, if Caesar decides to go to run it back with Isaac, he has potential of becoming a 3 division champion in the PFA, and then Isaac the potential for a double champ.
if Isaac's watching, he'll tell you right now he ain't gonna let that happen.
He's like, "Nah, that shit's a wrap."
He ain't gonna let that happen. No, but I'm all here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Caesar's a hell of a fighter. Isaac's my dog, and he's a dog, man. He's a dog in that ring, and that's gonna be obviously the first one was a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be even better to see them running back, and True and Bryce.
True and Bryce, that's going to be a very good one. Another great storyline because we had True and Bryce fight each other very, very close. Like the fight was very close, both landing very big shots, both landing damage, did great work. And then we saw that 1 point deduction from the groin shots. So it's like we know that there was a lot of people in the background that was speculating who actually won that because that 1 point deduction.
I'm glad that they're doing the number 2 because damn, that was such a good fucking fight.
It was, bro. It was such a great fight.
I was so pissed when they got when Bryce got the point deducted, but he had to get it deducted. I mean, he hit him 3 times, whether it was accidental or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he had to get the deduction. But fuck, like I hate the fact that the deduction is there because I think True won the fight regardless.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. That's
But
how I am too.
but fuck, it was such a close fight. It would have been really dope to just see that thing in, um, you know, without any of the gray stuff around it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
hey, we get part 2, man.
that's true solidification.
Solidification. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be solidified. Um, that's another one, man. Go put your votes in, guys. Go on Instagram, hit that reel, vote for who you got. You got Bryce or you got True. Who you got in part 2? I
Mm-hmm.
need to know. We need to know these things, people. Let us know.
We got to know.
We got to know. We talked about Caesar. Caesar's fighting.
Edwin Cassius,
Yep. Talked
which
about
actually Edwin also last fought PFA against Jamshid Eskandarian, which is also one of Isaac and True's sparring partners. So,
who we can't wait to see back in again very, very soon.
mm-hmm. That's a
Um,
dope guy to see a fight again.
talked about Kendrick. It's another title fight. Let's talk about Peterson.
Ooh, Ray Peterson versus Muhammad Afalassi.
That is going to be a doozy.
Oh yeah.
Muhammad, we were just seeing him. We just ran into him the other day. Over at Siege.
I saw him today too. He was training.
Looking great, great shape. He always brings it when he steps in the ring. And then you got Peterson. Speaking of first round finishes, he's 2 for 2. This is another one, man. We talked about the rising prospects in the circuit. This is definitely a fight of 2 rising prospects in this circuit.
Yep. Yeah, and it's cool too because it follows the theme. Someone's has got to go. Ray Peterson representing Ethos Martial Arts, already great tenure and potential as a PFA alumni and a fighter. The same thing with Muhammad. So stylistically, this is gonna be definitely like a top contender matchup because of how their styles are and how we're gonna see it clash together.
Yeah. Over under 2 rounds.
I'm actually going to say this is going to go the distance.
You got the distance on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be a split decision win.
So you say the first time that Ray make it out to first, he going the distance?
Well, actually, I think his first fight against Jared, didn't he go into the second round?
I think it was after the first bell. I don't think it started the second bell, did it?
Honestly, don't remember. I don't remember. I think I forget. It was either like towards the middle or the first or the second round. But I mean, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for Muhammad and Ray for like kind of what we were touching on with Austin. They're not trying to pad the record. They're not trying to just fluff it up and make it look pretty. They're genuinely challenge themselves, putting their O on the line to see who the best of the best is. Who is the pound for pound contender?
No, for sure. I mean, neither one of them are slouches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the other guy, for each one of them on the other side, they got to be coming into this fight, like you said, thinking like, okay, Muhammad's good, or okay, Ray's good. Like, I need to come in on my A game on this one. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it because I don't think Ray's been, you know, he's been
Tested.
dominating. Yeah, I don't think he's been tested yet. So
Mm.
I want to see what he has if he's pushed to dig, if he's pushed to bring something out of his bag. Because I don't even think they made him reach in his bag yet.
Mm-hmm. And getting to see some of the training with Muhammad as well, like he's going through Ramadan, so we're seeing like him pushing himself when he's already in exhausted situation. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic, especially since he is also training under Kamuela Kirk, who he's fought in the UFC. He's a major contender, and we may see him back in the UFC here soon.
Yeah, no, he's definitely training with some dogs too. You got Jesse over there, you got Joshua, you got Ben, you got this is dog Mason. He's training with the dogs. So
Yep.
definitely gonna go a long ways, man. Definitely gonna go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
UFL on the 27th, Iron Boy on the 27th, PFA 8 on the 20th, RUF 58 on the 20th. We got UFC 300 this weekend. It is going down.
It's going down for real.
For real. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, as always, peace, love, chicken grease to each and everybody that follows us. Thank you so much. It is humbling. It's a privilege to be a part of this journey, to be on it with you, James. Shout out to Austin, and just shout out to everybody in this community. It's just a great community. So many great people.
I don't even know why I just looked at my phone.
What?
I don't even know why we just let damn Russell Westbrook drop a triple double with 16 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists. How the hell? How?
Do they need Jesus?
Man. Till next time, y'all. Shut up, Josh. Till next time.
All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some motion. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes. We know what's happening in the league. All sports, all plays, ASAP. Cause we know what's going down with your team. We'll bring you up to speed ASAP. Not talking about Rihanna's baby daddy, it's the network covering every play that's happening in the ring, on the field, on the courts, on the lane. We gon' cover the game, all sports, all play. All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some motion. All sports,